Uh, Madam Chairperson, I rise to support this bill. It's a long overdue bill. If I am not mistaken, the last aircraft amendment bill which was sought to be brought to this House was in 2006, which was also referred to a standing committee. So the 2020 bill probably follows it from 1994, if I am not mistaken. So the 1934 Act, and then the 94 Act, and now the 20 bill. Madam Chairperson, there are many critics of this government who say that the bench strength of this government sometimes is a bit thin. The happy situation is that this is one ministry where the government has produced some very good talent. Two of my very dear friends, Mr. Rajiv Pratap Rudy and Mr. Jayant Sinha, are here, who helmed this, manned this ministry, and now, of course, one of the brightest ministers in this government, who's had a glittering international career, who's also combines a robust common sense along with all the vast experience he's garnered as a diplomat. Mr. Hardeep Puri is manning this ministry, so therefore it's only in the fitness of things that he's brought this amendment now, which was long overdue. But I am sorry to say that the talent that he brings to the ministry, unfortunately, is undermined by his own government in terms of the budgetary cuts that he's being given. There have been drastic cuts in the allocation towards the Ministry of Civil Aviation by more than 60%. How does any competent minister, no matter how competent he is, I mean, he's vastly competent, but how can he function when there is a 60% decrease in his budgetary existing, when compared to the actual expenditure of 18-19, the budgetary estimates this time have been sharply reduced, and therefore there have been decreases in allocations to both the Directorate General of Civil Aviation as well as the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security. So these amendments that he's brought about now to give statutory flavor to the BCAS, the AAIB and the DGCA, I don't know how the government is going to fund these. Nonetheless, it is important that to come in line with the international practices, to come in line with ICAO, to come in line with the best international agencies which are following the best international practices. Legal teeth has been given to the board, which will discharge its duties with much greater efficacy and independence. We are hopeful. But our difficulty is that the modernization which is required to raise the bar, to take these organizations to a level of, let's say, the FAA in the US or the EASA in Europe, how will, without proper modernization, modern equipment, without the manpower getting the best training at par with what is given in the US or Europe, I don't understand how these agencies will function at peak levels. The Honorable Minister is right when he says that India is now number 3 in the world in terms of its civil aviation potential. There's a 400 million middle class, so therefore it goes without saying that there is such a massive catchment in this country that the passenger traffic in this country obviously has to boost every single year, year on year. Despite that, we have seen that airline after airline has failed in this country, starting with Damania, Air Sahara, Air Deccan, Kingfisher, Jet. There have been repeated failures of different airlines. There's a joke, of course, which is it's not actually a joke, it's an aphorism, which is engraved on the Flying Club in New York, that to be an aviator, you have to first be a millionaire. You have to be a millionaire, but first you have to be a billionaire, to be a millionaire. Now, how does a billionaire become a millionaire? Get into the aviation business. Now, unfortunately, this is what is coming out to be true in India as well. A lot of people are losing a lot of money, and I believe that this is a time, particularly in the time of this coronavirus, that the Honorable Minister will have a very testing time on his hands in order to, I don't know, 4 minutes तो नहीं, और बीजू जनता दल में तो थोड़ा सा और आप दया करिए हम पे, 1-2 मिनट में खत्म कर रहा हूँ, because the Indian carriers' potential for projected cumulative losses for 1920 is supposed to be 7,800 crores. So if it's going to be 7,800 crores, and it's one of the highest imposers of aviation fuel tax in the world, that's in India currently, at 11% excise duty on aviation turbine fuel is also there, and a state-level tax of a maximum of 30%. So therefore, the Honorable Minister should really get the helping hand of the Finance Ministry. at a time when oil today is sub $30, I believe this is the time when the aviation sector should be bailed out with lower aviation fuel costs. And I have no doubt that the Honourable Minister will be the first one to advocate this, because, and I believe that whatever the Minister has done so far, he has done so with a very even hand. He's run this ministry impartially, with a completely even hand. I'm not in agreement with many of my colleagues here who say that the government is making a mistake in attempting a sale of Air India. I'm completely one with the Minister in an Air India attempted sale, because there is no point in chasing bad money with good money. Once some asset has become toxic, I think the Honourable, and let me tell you, let me assure this House that if this can be done, it can be done under this Minister, because he has such good common sense that he brings to the table, that I believe that if Air India can be sold, it's a wonderful airline. But my colleague who said that every national carrier is a great asset, I don't believe that every nation has a national carrier. Those days are gone. I can't even now recall if there is any country which has a national carrier now. I think all carriers have virtually become privatized. So therefore, there is no reason for government to be in the business of running airlines, running hotels. So therefore, having said this, I commend the Minister for having brought this bill to this House. Obviously, we support this bill. We support all the good initiatives and the good endeavours that this Honourable Minister is bringing towards the aviation sector. We wish him well in all his endeavours, in great success in this sunshine industry in India. And there are very few sunshine sectors left in this country. This is a sunshine sector. Let it prosper. Thank you very much.
माननीय सांसद